Welcome to Instlytics CyberScope, your trusted source for the latest trends and innovations in cybersecurity. I'm your host, Tom, and today we're tackling an exciting yet concerning topic: quantum-resistant encryption. Quantum computing is advancing rapidly, and as incredible as it presents serious risks to our current encryption methods. If you're concerned about protecting your data in the coming years, this is the episode for you. We'll cover what quantum-resistant encryption is, why it's necessary, and what you can do to start preparing for the quantum revolution. Joining me today is my co-host, Jay, who's going to help us break down this complex subject. Jay, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Tom. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. Quantum computing sounds like science fiction to a lot of people, but it's a reality that's developing quickly. The encryption that keeps our data safe today, everything from online banking to personal emails, is vulnerable in the face of quantum technology. The good news is, there are solutions in the works, and that's what we're going to dive into today.
Before we get into quantum-resistant encryption, let's start by explaining what quantum computing is. Jay, can you walk our listeners through this new form of computing?
Absolutely. Quantum computing is very different from the classical computers we use today. Traditional computers operate using binary bits, ones and zeros, to process information. These bits are in one state or the other at any given time. But quantum computers use qubits, which stands for quantum bits. A qubit can exist in multiple states simultaneously, thanks to quantum mechanical principles like superposition and entanglement.
So, with superposition, a qubit can be both a 1 and a 0 at the same time?
Exactly. That's what gives quantum computers their incredible processing power. They can handle massive amounts of data in parallel, making them exponentially faster at solving complex problems than classical computers. To give you an example, a problem that might take a classical computer thousands of years to solve could potentially be cracked by a quantum computer in just minutes.
That's impressive, but it also sounds like a nightmare for cybersecurity.
It is. While this technology is a breakthrough for science and innovation, it presents a serious threat to current encryption systems. The same power that makes quantum computers so effective for research also makes them capable of breaking the encryption that we rely on today.
Let's talk about how quantum computing affects today's encryption. Why are current encryption methods so vulnerable to quantum attacks?
Great question. Most encryption today is based on mathematical problems that are hard for traditional computers to solve. For example, RSA encryption, named after its inventors Rivest, Shamir, and Adelman, is based on the difficulty of factoring large prime numbers. With today's classical computers, breaking RSA encryption by brute force, meaning trying every possible solution, would take centuries.
But with quantum computers, that could change drastically?
Absolutely. Quantum computers can use an algorithm called Shor's algorithm to factor large numbers much faster than classical computers. This means that RSA encryption, which is widely used for securing sensitive information like financial data and emails, could be broken in just hours or minutes by a quantum computer. The same goes for ECC, or elliptic curve cryptography, which is often used to secure internet traffic. Once quantum computers reach a certain level of power, these encryption methods will no longer be secure.
So RSA and ECC, the most commonly used encryption methods today, are at serious risk once quantum computing becomes mainstream.
Exactly, and that's why we need quantum-resistant encryption.
Let's get into quantum-resistant encryption. What is it, and how is it different from the encryption methods we're using today?
Quantum-resistant encryption, also known as post-quantum cryptography, refers to new encryption methods that are designed to withstand attacks from quantum computers. These new algorithms are based on mathematical problems that are much harder for quantum computers to solve. Unlike RSA and ECC, which quantum computers can easily break, quantum-resistant algorithms use entirely different mathematical principles.
Can you give us some examples of these quantum-resistant algorithms?
Sure. Some of the most promising approaches include lattice-based cryptography, which creates complex structures that are difficult for quantum computers to break. There's also hash-based cryptography, which relies on hash functions, and multivariate quadratic equations, which are incredibly complex mathematical systems that quantum computers can't easily solve.
So, researchers are essentially building these encryption methods from scratch to prepare for the quantum future?
Exactly. Quantum-resistant algorithms don't just tweak the existing methods like RSA or ECC. They're fundamentally different, and that's what makes them secure against quantum attacks.
Now, some people might think that since quantum computing isn't fully operational yet, we don't need to worry about this right away. But Jay, why is it important to start preparing for quantum-resistant encryption now?
Even though we don't have fully functional quantum computers yet, the progress being made is fast. And here's the thing. Data that's encrypted today will still need to be secure for decades. If someone intercepts your data now, they could hold on to it until quantum computers are advanced enough to break the encryption. Once quantum computers can break current encryption methods, that data becomes vulnerable.
So it's not just about future-proofing. It's about protecting today's information as well.
Exactly. That's why businesses and individuals need to start thinking about quantum-resistant encryption now. If we wait until quantum computers are fully operational, it could be too late to protect our data.
All right, so let's get into the practical side. What steps can businesses and individuals take to prepare for the quantum computing era?
For businesses, the first step is to start planning for the transition to quantum-resistant encryption. That means paying attention to new standards being developed by organizations like NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST is actively working on selecting new cryptographic algorithms that will be secure in the quantum era. Businesses should also start working with cybersecurity experts to develop long-term strategies for transitioning to these new encryption methods.
And what about individuals? How can they protect their personal data?
For individuals, the key is really staying proactive. Quantum computing may seem distant, but it's important to stay informed and use strong, up-to-date encryption for your personal data. Start by making sure that the services and products you use, like your cloud storage provider, email service, and financial apps, are keeping up with advancements in quantum-resistant encryption. Many companies are already preparing for this, and you want to use services that are transparent about their security measures. Another crucial step is practicing good cybersecurity hygiene. This means not just relying on encryption, but also taking responsibility for how you manage your personal security. Use strong, unique passwords for each account, and make sure your passwords are complex, using a mix of letters, numbers, and special characters. Avoid obvious things like your name, birth date, or simple patterns like password 123. Also, enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, whenever possible. MFA adds an extra layer of protection by requiring not just your password, but also a second form of verification, like a text message or an app-generated code. Even if someone gets your password, they won't be able to access your account without that second layer. As quantum threats evolve, having multiple layers of security will be more important than ever. Finally, stay informed. Follow cybersecurity news and make sure you understand the security updates that your services provide. When companies roll out quantum-resistant updates, be ready to adopt them to keep your data secure.
That's all for today's episode of Instlytics CyberScope. We hope you now have a better understanding of the risks quantum computing poses and how quantum-resistant encryption can protect your data in the future. Remember, this is something we all need to prepare for today, not tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, don't hesitate to reach out, stay informed, stay secure, and we'll catch you in the next episode.